All right, so you're a Christian, and you want to tell me why you believe?
I believe I grew up in a Christian home, and it was always something I was told that I should believe in God. But for me, I first started believing when I saw God changing the lives of people who they were people who had gone to my church and who didn't like me. I didn't like them, but God changed their lives. And
how did he do that?
He probably just by showing them how much he loves them. They came back from camp totally different. And we got to talking and became friends after that. And it just showed me that God can change even the people who we don't think he can change. And that's why I believe in God.
So you saw some people that weren't your friends have a transformation of character.
Yeah.
From Christianity.
Exactly.
I guess they went to camp and got saved, huh?
Exactly.
Okay. And any other evidence?
Well, I've worked in children's ministry for nearly 10 years now. And I've seen God radically change the lives of so many different kids.
How so?
Well, there have been a lot of kids who have come from abusive backgrounds and stuff, and they've been very scared of people and not wanting to talk much. And I've seen them over months get to the point where they're not just involved in everything, but they're the ones, they've become the best students in the class.
How do you know that's God? Why wouldn't that just be human attention, human interaction that's positive to them rather than negative?
Well, because human interaction can only do so much.
Right. But how do you know that's not what it's doing? And that's okay if you don't. It's okay.
Oh, I know. It's all about getting my thoughts into words.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you just say, I don't know. And that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. Any other reasons why you believe?
Well, I've had God change me before, too. I've gone to camp as a leader, there to serve him and help the kids, but he's really shown up in our times of worship and prayer and changed a lot of stuff about me. And I'm a lot better man now.
All right. I don't know you, so I'll take your word for it. Any other reasons?
No.
Okay. I'm an atheist, and I'm begging you to tell me why I ought to believe as you do. So no one can accuse you of trying to impose or judge. I've told you I'm not a believer, and I've invited you to give me reasons. So why should I believe what you believe?
Because it'll change your life. You'll find yourself happier. Not necessarily always happy, but
I'll be a better person.
Exactly. But you shouldn't become a believer just because you'll become a better person.
All right.
I really think if you don't want to be a believer, you shouldn't be a believer. But if you spend enough time around believers and really get to know them, and true believers, not
how do I tell who the true believers are?
They'll stick out. They won't be normal.
I met the people from Westboro Baptist. They weren't normal,
but they weren't actually preaching.
Every believer that I've talked to thinks they're the true believer.
Well, you have to use your own discretion. You can't.
So the people that I picked to be the true believers, if I choose that way to find out about belief, I'm pretty much going to end up believing as they do, right?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
I have friends who were raised Mormons, and they've converted to different branches of Christianity because they, deep down inside, figured out, no, this isn't quite right.
Okay.
I don't believe everything that this church does, but my beliefs more closely line up with this other church.
Right.
And
so how do I know which church is the true believers? What if I fell in with a bunch of Catholics?
Well, you just gotta feel it out. After a while, you gain discernment and judgment, and after that, you can choose if you really feel like it's where you belong and what.
So you don't have any objective measure, rule, or axiom, or anything like that?
Well, no, because we can't put a rule to God. God's above our understanding.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's what you want to tell me?
Yeah.
Anything else?
Be careful not to, like, there are people who claim to be Christians and don't act like Christians. And you really have to look not just at their words, but at their actions.
Okay, what actions should I see in a true Christian?
Kindness, generosity.
How about good judgment?
Good judgment is another one.
What if I disagree with 90% of what's called Christian politics?
Then you're like me.
Okay.
Because, let's face it, there's a million different options of interpreting the Bible, and it's all about getting discernment and figuring it out for yourself, spending time in the Word.
But they say they spent time in the Word, and they say that the Spirit is in them, and that true Christians think this way or that way.
But how do they know? They are not.
Good question.
They are not all-knowing.
But how do you know if you don't know how they know? You follow? How do you know you're right if you don't know why they're wrong? Presuming you disagree.
It's all about personal discernment and wisdom.
But everybody's not right, are they?
No. I'm sure there are things I'm very wrong about.
Well, how would you know?
Because I know that I'm not all-knowing.
No, right. But how do you know what you're right about and what you're wrong about? And how do you know what they're right about and what they're wrong about? I submit to you, Christians can't answer that, and that's why they can't resolve differences rationally. Let me give you an example. Whether or not the laity ought to have the Bible in their hands. What really solved that question was the printing press. It wasn't like all the Christians got together and said, everybody should have the Bible. It was the printing press made it so easy to print Bibles that the church couldn't keep them out of the hands of laity.
Even before the printing press, it was...
Yeah, but the church could control...
More importantly than the printing press, it was Martin Luther who chose to translate it into layman.
But that was after Gutenberg. It was Gutenberg that was selling Luther's tracts. There wasn't any mass media until Gutenberg. So that's just one example. Technology solved the question for the church. Yeah. Reason didn't.
Well, you could argue that reason did, because even if you have the printing press and no one translates it,
well,
the Bible will not get out.
Any number of people could have translated the Bible. It was being able to distribute it. But in any case, any other reasons why I should believe?
No.
Very good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.